How's it going, ladies and gentlemen? We're back with the Road to Rip podcast. As usual, nothing different about today than usual.
Except that for people that are not watching, just listening, they will not notice.
They will not notice that Greg got a facelift. However, that goes to show you should be watching the video podcast, either on iTunes or on YouTube, as well as doing the audio podcast. Because while the audio podcast is pretty nice, it's very convenient, listen to on the podcast app, a lot of people don't even know we have a video option. So you should go check that out too.
You would have seen my purge mask. I had a random purge mask in my recording area.
Yeah.
And it's pretty epic. But in this episode, we're going to talk about how to build a perfect butt. This is especially important for the women followers because, crazy enough, the number one sign of physical attraction in women is none other than your waist to hip ratio, bringing in your waist and building out booty.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite topics.
Exactly. It really is that important. So we can just jump in and kind of talk about like really what are the keys to building a great butt and how is it done?
Yeah, so let's start off, like, talk a bit about exactly what you just said, and then maybe let's go in like a couple tips that people can take away. But first off, what were you saying? So what can women look for? Like, why would women want to optimize their waist to hip ratio, and what kind of basis does that have in terms of the power that it can give by just enhancing that one ratio?
Right, exactly. So the reason women would want to improve her ratios is that is what's creating that effect that actually looks good. In men, it's actually the waist to shoulder ratio, but in women, it's the waist to hip. And men have actually been hardwired over thousands and thousands of years to have these adaptive mating preferences where they actually look at women, and the first thing they see is that waist to hip. And what that does is it shows signs of fertility, signs of health. So a man is going to want to actually, technically mate with a girl with a stronger ratio because she'll have usually healthier offspring. And so a woman, if a woman's trying to look more attractive, appear more healthy, she's going to want to work out in a way and eat in a way to actually improve her ratio. Unfortunately, though, most women, the stuff we're going to get into is going to apply to guys as well. So don't worry. But most women, they tend to resort to more drastic weight loss and exercise routines that actually don't help improve the ratio, because a lot of times they might lose their precious curves, or they might burn muscle tissue where they need it on their glutes, and that won't actually improve their ratio. A lot of times girls, they'll follow pretty intense workout routines or maybe lifting routines where they gain muscle, but a lot of times they're not gaining muscle onto their glutes because they don't know how to use their glutes. So a lot of the size they're putting on is on their thighs, and they're not improving their ratio.
And even in shoulders, I've seen a lot of women that like the gym that I go to right now it's more of like a bodybuilding centric gym, and there's a lot of the women there actually have a very masculine look because I think they train the exact same way that guys do, and they start to build up that actual like waist to shoulder ratio.
Yeah.
Not really my cup of tea.
Yeah, girls are, a lot of people say, oh, girls only have 10% of the testosterone, they're not capable of building that much muscle. But I'm certainly, if a girl is lifting very, very hard on her upper body for quite a few years, she's probably going to see more muscle growth than she wants there, if she's trying to have that really feminine, slim, sexy look. And that's problematic. So even in this new program I put together, the Booty program, there's really only one upper body day a week, and it's pretty balanced. It's nothing, you're not pushing it crazy hard. You're not trying to promote muscle growth on the upper body to a large degree. You're just trying to just hit the muscles, keep them strong, fit, healthy, balanced, and kind of target most of the muscle growth to the glutes.
Yeah, exactly. So what in the Kino Booty program, what do you highlight in terms of like what are the most effective exercises to do this?
Yeah, so interestingly enough, it's a lot of women make the mistake of doing a lot of like high rep circuits, or they'll do kind of these little like where they lift their legs up and down, they do like kind of butt kicks, and they try and just hit their body with like just 30, 40, 50 plus 100 plus reps to get the burn in the muscle, because that's what they think is going to give them the look they want. But we know through exercise physiology, if you want to make a muscle grow, you don't want to be doing more than 15 reps. That kind of 6 to 12 reps is where you're going to see strength and muscle growth, and beyond that, you're not going to see much of a difference. So, to build your butt, you need to be doing movements that are challenging in the 6 to 15 rep range. That means lifting weights. And so the first one, that really is an important movement. It's the foundation. Is going to be a squat. That said, you want to be doing it in a specific matter to actually hit your glutes the hardest. A lot of girls, this is really the squat test. A lot of girls, if you just ask them right now, stop the podcast, do 20 squats nice and low, and then see where do you feel it most. A lot of girls, a lot of guys even would feel it right in their quads, right in their quadriceps, and that's because they have a lot of the weight on their toes. They're not sitting back. Their knees are coming forward a lot, so they're really targeting their quads when they do it, and that's what girls don't want. They want to build their booty, not their quads. So what you do is you actually assume a wider stance. So you step out. If you're usually shoulder width, you step out a lot further than that. So your hips are opened up, and then you point your toes out slightly. Now you're in like a wider, almost sumo stance squat, and what that does is it allows you to use your glutes more and allows you to sit back more comfortably. And now you sit. Now when you do a squat, you initiate the squat by pushing your hips back. It's not just going down. It's literally thinking about pushing your hips back, and that's what's going to bring the glutes into action. And then the weight is pretty much on the heel of the foot, and that's going to really bring in the glutes. And another way you can do that is to get like a box behind you that's pretty much, when you sit down on it, your knees are pretty much parallel with your hips, and sit down to a squat, because that will trigger you to hit your glutes hard. You do those types of squats, and the next day you're going to be feeling it predominantly, really to a large degree in your glutes, maybe a little bit of the hamstrings. And yes, it will work the quad too, but a lot of that is on the glutes.
One exercise that I used a lot last year, just building up my own glutes, which I mean, guys don't want to build up the glutes too. Sometimes,
yeah,
if you do it properly.
A lot of women say they love guys with like a great butt.
Yeah, I was using that mule kick machine.
Yeah, that one's sweet.
If you go really heavy on that, it's a great movement. And I would just full stack it, finish off a workout with it. By the end of the reps, I'd do 3x8 on each leg. And it's like a full body exercise.
Yeah, those are intense. My gym doesn't have those, unfortunately. But yeah, that's a great one to use if a girl's got if she has that machine available, and that's a great for like more of like the end of the workout. Maybe you've done a few other movements and you're finishing it off on the machine. Yeah, it really targets the glutes.
Yeah, that's like the only thing it targets.
Right.
So it's pretty isolated.
Yeah, and then what? Another good like sort of on the main compound side of lifts. Another good one to hit the glutes is actually the sumo deadlift. So if you do a deadlift and you take a wider stance, you don't have to do the wider stance thing. I mean, some research says that also the conventional deadlift hits the glutes very, very hard. If you do it properly, you make sure you maintain your shoulders back, chest up. That kind of movement again is going to hit your glutes hard. Deadlift, sumo deadlift, and as you do the deadlift, what you really want to focus on is, if you're doing a deadlift, is as you come up, you really want to squeeze your butt at the top. That's going to kind of remind you to kind of use your glutes throughout the movement. So when you're at the top of the movement, you just really clench your butt. It's going to work beautifully. A third movement that's amazing to build a butt, and actually the research shows that this one actually really targets the butt, is a forward lunge. So you can put a barbell behind your back, take a big step forward, so you're lunging forward, and then kick right back to the starting position. And that kick back has been shown to really activate and hit the glutes very, very hard. So I mean, one of the times my butt was the most sore was literally when I took, I think it was like a plate aside, so I had 135 pounds, and I just did forward lunges, alternating. I think I did 8 reps per side, 3 sets, and my glutes were sore for a week. I wasn't sitting. I could barely sit down. And I didn't expect that, but yeah, it's literally that push off, that explosive push off, especially when you have a lot of that weight in the heel, you do it properly. It is absolutely crazy. And another cool one that's pretty underrated that a lot of girls don't even know about is called the curtsy lunge. So instead of stepping forward and pushing back, you actually step behind you, but let's say you're on your left foot and you're stepping back with your right foot. You're gonna bring that right foot kind of over, crossing your left side to make almost a curtsy. And what it does is puts a lot of the tension of the movement right onto like your glutes, and you feel it really nicely. I was doing this one with this girl we were filming with, and I had to demonstrate it, and she couldn't believe how much she felt her glutes.
Awesome. Yeah,
And
so
then
that's like what, 5 or 6 really good exercises right there.
I'm gonna do one more though.
Nice.
So the last one, of course, is gonna be your barbell hip thrust, where you're on a cross position on a bench. So your upper torso is on the bench, and then you have a barbell. You slide a barbell up to your hips, and you do hip thrust. You can use a dumbbell too, which works well. I'll do like one leg and just do body weight. But the hip thrusts are great because one of the main roles of the glutes is hip extension, driving the hips forward, and that movement really isolates that kind of motion. So you can do that. What I tell people is get a weight they can do like 20 reps with, hit 20 reps of the hip thrust, rest like a minute and a half, then do the same weight but do 15, rest minute and a half, then same weight but do like 10 to 12, and your butt is going to be on fire. You will have more junk in the trunk.
Nice.
Good job.
That's what you want, the junk in the trunk.
Exactly. So really, those are kind of the main keys. And of course, if you're doing those exercises, it's not enough just to do them, go through the motions. You got to really do it properly, and you got to make sure that you're progressing. So if at first maybe you're doing that wider stance squat, you're just holding like a 20-pound dumbbell, well, you're going to have to progress to a 30-pound dumbbell. You're going to have to progress to a 35-pound dumbbell. Maybe you're going to progress to doing it with the 45-pound bar, and then eventually, 100 pounds, and then, 120. And as you get stronger on these movements, same thing with the deadlift, same thing with the forward lunges, even the mule kicks where you do the kickback machine, or the hip thrust. That strengthening is what is triggering the muscle growth. So a lot of girls don't realize that. They go in the gym and they just think, I'll just go work out, challenge myself, but they're scared of actually increasing the weight. If you're not increasing the weight, you're not improving yourself. So that's like first and foremost. It'd be better just to do one movement, just do one exercise, but increase the weight, every couple weeks, than to do 20 different movements, but always do the same weight.
Yeah, that's a good key. The key to success with this.
The key to success, and I guarantee you, for the women listening or guys listening, when you start to incorporate these movements, do them, once or twice a week. If you want to see results very fast in my booty program, what we do is you do a big kind of lower body but really glute focused workout on Monday and Friday, and then Wednesday is more in the upper body. And when you do this kind of schedule where you're hitting your butt hard twice a week, you're pushing the weight, your butt is gonna transform. Just in a couple of weeks, you're gonna see a huge difference. It's gonna be firmer. It's gonna be a little more. It's gonna pop out more. It's gonna be a little more rounded. And over the course of this 12 weeks, 3 months, you are gonna be blown away. It's pretty damn insane. And of course, you have have the right nutrition too, because maybe you got like 10, 15 pounds of fat to lose. Well, you're not going to have your best butt if you got some stubborn fat. So then in that case, you want to make sure you're eating the right calories for your goal, so you can slim down while also recomping and like building the butt up. Or maybe you're very, very slim and you're trying to do some crazy crash diet. Well, you have to have the right calorie intake and protein intake to support that muscle growth. So remember, with the workouts, it's important to actually have the right nutrition intake. If you want to build your butt, you can't just starve yourself. And if you want to have the best butt, also you have to stay very lean. So it comes down to optimizing your calorie intakes.
Yeah, and that's all explained in the Kino Booty
program. If you want to check out the latest program I put together, really for women to build an amazing body built around the science of what is the right body type, the best ratio, how do you improve the ratio, bring in the ways, build out the perfect butt, You can go to kinobooty.com. That's BOOTY, Kino, KINO, BOOTY.com, and check out the booty program. It is fantastic.
Cool. Sounds good. Yeah. Some
there
good tips. I think that was, it's like action packed right away. Get people, value right away.
is there anything else that we really want to kind of add in there? I mean, it's pretty amazing. Like, for girls listening or women listening, like if you're struggling with your body, you're not really where you want to be. Everything's really not working. I mean, the solution is really to follow a program that's built around the actual research of what works and what doesn't. There's so many fad diets out there, so many fad exercise plans, and it's pretty frustrating because a lot of women or peak guys, and even of course they'll resort to them and they'll get burnt out and they won't see the results that you want. So when you follow a program that's really built around the fundamentals of what actually works, that's designed in a way to allow you to keep progressing, that has a strong understanding of what are your energy needs, how do you kind of work around that and actually lean down or build muscle, then I mean the results you're going to see are really going to be pretty dramatic. And like the last kind of thing I want to say is that for women that maybe they don't really like strength training, maybe that they feel intimidated going to the gym, I mean, get a friend. It's worth it. And if you don't really find like lifting weights is fun, just follow the program. Just see how cool it is when you come into the gym and you're doing 5 more pounds, or you're doing 2, 3, 4, 5 more reps, and then every week you're seeing some progress, and your body's transforming. You're going to be so hooked to the strength training, you won't even know what to do with yourself. It is everyone I get into the lifting absolutely falls in love with it once they start to see that initial progress in the gym as far as the weights, and then in the mirror.
Yeah, it's a positive reinforcement. So, and it doesn't need to be complicated. It's like if they were to just stick with the program for 3 months, do the key exercises, get stronger in those key exercises, they'll see progress.
They'll see, massive progress. And even I got Matthew McConaughey over here. He wants to jump on the podcast and say a few words to the women listeners.
Well,
Nah.
bring him on.
All right. Now you want to build a Kino booty? You gotta do the Kino booty program. I mean, it's the best program in the world. Right. All right. Now, Greg, you go. No, take it over. I gotta take my shirt off. Thank you, Matthew.
Thanks, Matt.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I guess you guys heard it then.
Yeah, straight from the horse's mouth.
Boom. All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I really hope you enjoyed it. Make sure if you're not already, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. And and if you want to support the podcast, make sure to leave your ratings, leave your reviews. Maybe say, "Wow, I loved the episode with Matthew McConaughey. It was my favorite." And you guys can check out, of course, the program kinobooty.com, and that's pretty much it.
Cool. Thanks, guys.